Hey Joshua, how's everything going? Kajaria. What you say, Joshua? You was first today. How y'all doing tonight? That's good. Good to see you. I was just looking at your pictures earlier on here, Joshua. Yeah, seeing all the pictures and stuff you put up and post on a day-to-day basis. All your friends and everything. How is everybody doing tonight? I'm doing good. I went out in the garden today, um, a couple times. Listened to some rain today. Um, so it's pretty good. Got me a little bit of nap in um, earlier, but today was a good day. Like Dr. Dre don't say, today was a good day. I just came on here. Y'all know I'm on my random phone calls. I didn't have a lot to happen today. One of the things that I did um, happen earlier was uh, over on Gamma's World. Her second channel is called "Get Your Big Ass Up." That's the name of her second channel. And we did some gardening over. Well, we did some gardening talk over there on her channel. Anybody looking for? We talked about bell peppers, serrano peppers, lettuce, any of those things that you're trying to grow or you want to grow like right now or whatever, or you trying to get into it. There was a lot of information in that, and I was out in the garden during that live. So go over and check out Gamma's World second page called "Get Your Big Ass Up." Um, we did a interview over there, so not an interview, but just doing our good old garden talk and stuff like that. Hey, Tammy. Hello to everyone else. Hope all is well with you all. Actually, today I was just saying before you came in, Tammy, that today was a good day. Today was a good day. I actually feel like after I get off this live tonight, but I need to stop saying this because every time I say that when I get off this live, I'm gonna go to sleep. It don't even do it. Last night I got ready to get off this live and I heard that rain coming down, and it's just something about me and the rain is in love with each other. So I start hearing it rain. It's just something about it. It's like the garden. It bring a big old smile to my face, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, it's raining!" And then sometimes I can just lay here and I can fall asleep listening to the rain. But other times, like I'm so excited about it, I get up and I start moving around, recording it like I did last night. Um, I just enjoy um, the simple things like that in life. Like rain mean a lot to me because in the times that I was going through mentally, when I told y'all about somebody had put roots on me, the most comforting thing was for me like when the rain would come and the rain would splash on the windowsill and splash into my face while because I would just like be in the window and just staring out the window. It whatever For whatever reason it brought me peace. But the rain hitting on the windowsill and splashing in my face was just like those were like my most peaceful, calmest days when I was going through mentally. Just for something so simple like that to happen. So ever since then, it's just like I look on the weather. You know, a lot of people look on the weather to see if it's going to be a clear day, is it going to be shiny and everything. To me, it's like when I can go and I can see like the weather and it says it's going to rain, it's something about it just like the rain, knowing it's gonna rain, it brings joy to my heart or something. I love hearing rain. We had some in Georgia last night. Oh, I knew about that too, Tammy, because my sister live in Georgia too. So she was telling me about y'all had a lot of tornado watches and stuff last night too. So Tashanna, that's terrible. How did you get that off of you? Tammy, the only thing I can say to you is nothing but God. Just um prayers and I talk about it a lot. And actually I was on somebody else's panel and that conversation came up. They was talking about people putting love spells and stuff like that, you know, using witchcraft and stuff against people. um but I actually got a whole bunch of I got a whole bunch of different times that I've talked about it right here on YouTube. So yeah, it was something close like an exorcism, Tammy. And I'm smiling about it right now, but during the time that it was happening, honey, I can tell you it was some rough days. I can pull my journal out from those days, and it's almost like I'm right back in it. Like it make me have a feeling of like my heart so broken for somebody to have gone through that, but that somebody was me that was going through it. So, um, I'm a whole vibe. Hey, I'm a whole vibe. Wait a minute, I'm a whole vibe. Are you from over to on Gammas? I think I heard. Your name was the one I was hearing about earlier today. Yeah, I like your name, the little sun that you got and everything. That's you like you came in and like you brought some sunshine into the chat. Yeah, you know, I okay, yeah, you are from over there. Yeah, I was just telling them about before we came when I first came in that we were over at Gamma's and we had a good old conversation about the garden and all of that good stuff. Child, when I came from out there in that garden, I came right on in the house and I was just like, I need to lay it down. I'm not supposed to be in the sun anyways, and I don't tell me I'm a whole vibe. Because you're new to my channel, we just met today and everything. I think you the one gave us the new perspective of that the world started in the garden. So I'm a whole vibe her flowers right now because she put a whole new spin on, you know, why the garden brings so much peace, because that's how it started in the garden with Adam and Eve. There you go. Hey Phoenix, how are you, my dolly bear? Hope all is going well with you today. But yeah, Tammy, I've talked about it so many times of who that situation in my life, because that's a lot of things that made me and my relationship with God get very close, because I've never needed him so much in my life than when I was going through that right there. It was rough. It was rough. But guess what? When it don't work on you, see what he tried to do to me. You know, you heard the saying, what the devil meant for bad, God turned it around for the good. And see, when that stuff does not work, hey Tasha, when that stuff does not work on you, it gotta go somewhere. And from the way that I saw it, it went back to the person who tried to do it to me. It went back to them, and it actually, um, I saw some things in my dreams that I woke up out of my sleep praying for the person that did it to me. So, you know, yeah. Sometimes God allow things to happen in your life just to show you that how strong you actually are. So, and I believe that with everything in me. But how has everybody else day been today? Y'all already know I come in here and a lot of times I don't have anything. Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely will, Tasha. It will reverse right on them. People. There's different ways of saying it. If you dig in a hole for me to fall in it, you better dig two of them or maybe three. Um, cause I'm not gonna fall. I'm not the one that's doing the digging of the hole, hoping that you fall into it. Um, it just don't work out for them. It don't never work out for them. And so it's better, go ahead and dig your own hole and get yourself jacked up. A woman tried to curse my finances. A woman in a church. That that's why I say that's I feel like there's a place or you gathering because from my understanding where there's two or three gathered together, there shall he also be. And I feel like there's a lot of people who run to the church, whether it's running to the church for the fashion shows, um, or to just say that I went to church today. It's when you go in there, if you ain't leaving with the church inside your heart, then you jacked up right from the beginning. Cause I can see a lot of people go just to say, "Child, I went to church today. I ain't learned nothing. I ain't getting nothing out of it. Can't tell you what it was about. No, none of that. Just they just be going just to go." Witches are at churches also. Absolutely. It's all kinds of people up in the church. All kinds of people. Y'all see what's going on with old Mr. Marvin Sapp with him telling the people to shut the doors in the church. See, the way what I was doing was I was looking at the people who were minding the doors in that video, and to hear him say shut the doors, in your heart of heart, you know that that's not the right thing to do, and you still follow behind what he told you to do. Shut the door. No, it's like, and I would have just off the strength of him telling them to close the doors, because you ain't nothing vex my spirit more than when I go to a church and then they hold up offering, and they keep on begging for money over and over. They take a half an hour at trying to reach this limit of money that they want to reach, and I feel like the people already done gave you what they want to give you, so now they not giving it out of they not giving it because it's something they want to give. They giving it because you just keep begging for it over and over again. And if you the pastor up there and God say he don't he won't he doesn't make you the beggar, he made you a lender, then why you got to be up there begging for that loan, asking somebody for offering over and over again, and then turn around and say shut the door because you want $20 from every person. See, I would be that one person that go walk to the doors, and then the person trying to keep the door open, he might get kicked or something like that, and be like, and I'm about to call 911 up in here because you're holding me hostage. See, I could never. I couldn't go for something like that. See, because I'm like the person. If I go to church and I feel like something ain't right, and even a pastor or something want to pray for me or whatever, I'm that person that'll be like, nope, I don't want you to pray for me. And I know that would seem kind of weird or whatever, but no, I'm telling you, there has absolutely been a time for me that the pastor has called me up to want to pray for me, and there's been some stuff going on in the church, but it's like, no, I don't. No, I you can pray, but I don't want you to lay your hands. I don't want you to touch me with your hands or any of that right there. Go ahead and do your thing. I can't stop you from praying or no none of that stuff. And I didn't think anything was malicious, but it was some stuff that was going on, and so it's like when I'm like, mm-mm. Yeah, I don't like when people do all that, when them pastors and stuff be doing all that begging and stuff. I've been filled with the Holy Spirit. I'm praying unceasing. Jesus was with me last night in your rainfall. Well, I'm good. That's what you supposed to do. Talk to him every day, all day, Phoenix. I know that's right. Yeah, and Tasha, I've never known Marvin Sapp to be. strange ever before, because how could the person that say never could have made it and get you through so many, that song has gotten me through a lot of nights and stuff when I have, but how could a person, and I ain't gonna even say that, how could a person, because we all human and we all flawed, but we know that, that right there, that ain't right. What I'm a whole vibe said never would have paid it. I know that's right. Let me tell you something. He wouldn't have got a dime from me once I heard anything about close the doors. Close the doors. And it's like, we talking, these are grown men, and good and time well that even though he's your pastor and he's your leader, sometimes leaders fall short and they need prayers too. And so I often look at leaders, pastors, and stuff like that. They fall short and they do things all the time. We hear it in the news all the time. They need prayers just like we do. They human. um it's up to you to have your own discernment and know what is right and what is wrong. And I feel like those men that actually closed the doors after he said that they deserve just as much flack as he did for what he did, because you should have known that was not a good, that wasn't no good move. Even though he is a man telling you another man what to do. Hey, Rated RJ, how are you? Yeah, I can't stand no stuff like that. I'll be ready to go right then. But it's been a long time since I walked up in anybody's church. My church right now is right here. I talk to God every day, all day, and everything. But I wouldn't discourage anybody else from going there. That's just the place that I'm in right now. And for me, I feel like it's not something that I need. It's just like, well, what church do you go to? Which one do you go to? It's so much different, so much stuff going on these days and everything. So I don't know, and I feel like they be wanting the money grab for anything. As Tashanna says, tenfold, absolutely. It's falling. Yeah, do you get people all the time. That money has their minds twisted. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, you in there trying, what you trying to raise? I don't even remember what he was trying to say, but I think he was trying to raise $40,000 or something like that, or whatever. But for what? And then he said that the people that was up in the pulpit with him, he wanted $100 from them. So I was like, golly, he taxing for real. He taxing for real. But I believe that when somebody go to the church and they giving, if you have a need on the inside of you and you talking to God, you don't need to go and keep begging nobody for no anything in church. Let the people give what they give, and if it's for you, God gonna make sure that you get it. Um, yeah, it's churches that do that get on my nerve. I'm telling you, they'd be right then when, and I ain't talking about right now because it's been a long time since I've been to a church. But the last time I went, man, I remember this one time they was in there trying to raise money, and it was going on and on and on. I mean, it went on for about 40 minutes. They were steady. We need 20 people to give $100. We need 10 people to give $50, and it just kept going on. And they kept asking them. I remember one my cousin husband stood up in the middle of the church service and he say, "Well, dang, can you just tell us how much money you trying to raise so we all know what we trying to do here? Cause this taking too long." I said I couldn't believe he stood up in the middle, but when he stood up, I was so glad that he did do it and say it, because it was so nerve wracking. Like we was a church visiting another church. They was having like a musical or whatever situation was going on that night. But yeah, it was crazy. I can't stand stuff like that. Right, to walk out. Hey, Silky Black. Um, I haven't been to a church in a while either, but I pray absolutely. You have to have the church on the inside. You have to have church on the inside of you too. That one pastor this last month that told him, "Hey, RJ, that's what we were just talking about." That one pastor this last month that told him to close the doors. Is that who you talking about? Yep, that's Marvin Sapp. Never would have made it. Somebody, a whole vibe say, never would have paid it. Yeah, just think about like that song got me through so many moments or whatever, and for the person that sung that song to be doing things about it. But you know what? I don't never just want to throw a whole rock and knock him upside the head with it or whatever, because we all humans out here. We make mistakes sometimes or whatever. But what I have an issue with, if you make the mistake and you still out here making excuses and you don't take no accountability for what you did. You steady just saying whatever you want to say to you know keep your to make yourself feel better, instead of saying, yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that, or whatever. That's so evil, man. I saw that. Yeah. I actually, the guys, because he's telling them to do one thing, and though he's their leader, the guys that are actually back there closing the doors should have had enough discernment to know that it wasn't the right thing to do. So I actually hold them accountable too. And that's why you can't. Your pastor, a pastor is somebody that can, he's supposed to be guiding you along the way. But you see a lot of these pastors fall short, and they doing all kinds of craziness. That you have to have your own discernment to know what you should and should not be following behind. So for a lot of that situation right there, I blame, not only blame Marvin Sapp for telling them to do it, I blame the men that actually closed the door, because if the police showed up there, um, would Marvin Sapp catch the charge? And you all's opinion, would Marvin Sapp catch the charge for telling the men to close the doors? um, or with the men that actually closed the doors and was keeping the people in. And I don't know if they kept the people inside of the church, but what other reason would you tell them to close the doors for? Who would get in trouble for that? Is it the person that's holding the doors closed, or is it the one that's telling them to keep the doors closed? Which one getting in trouble? I went to church that kept begging 30 minutes. I was embarrassed for them. Tasha, that's what I be feeling like. I be feeling embarrassed for them that they doing something like that. But why we the ones feeling embarrassed for them? Why? Why do we feel embarrassed? It's just like it's the stupidest thing ever. Like, why are you still begging these people when you the one up here teaching the word to us, and in the word that I experience is, it says God didn't make you he didn't make you a beggar, he made you the lender. So yeah, I just don't get that. That's not a church. That's I just said that's not the church, that's the IRS. It's code 501c3. Go ahead and break it down, RJ. Hey, Darcy. Thank you for coming through. Exactly. Discernment is something people aren't thinking of enough. Yeah, I don't care who they is. I don't care if it's a pastor. I don't care if it's the president. I don't care who it is. If they saying something that does not make sense to me, I'm far past those days of where I want to do something so I can get along with somebody. I done been in this world and feeling lonely by myself many of days. Um, so I don't need none of those. I don't need none of those folks. And somebody telling me something, and it doesn't make sense to me, honey, I'm not going along with whatever it is that you saying. It's a no for me. It would be a no for me. Yep. And a lot of people, and a lot of people feel that in the pit of their stomach, that it's the wrong thing to do, and yet and still they will still go along with it. You know, everybody would be going to jail. That's what I feel like. And I let me tell you something. I probably would have been caught an assault charge or something. You standing in front of the door, and I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to get out of here and go home. Get knocked upside the head with my pocketbook or something. Yes, I feel the shame. It's a shame that we feel the shame that they doing that, and we're not even participating in it. We ain't saying nothing. No, no, no. We just sitting there. But what I have felt before is like it's a spirit of manipulation, because what they're doing, you've already given what you're going to give for the offering. And I feel like it's a spirit of manipulation, because the longer you sit there and you keep hearing them ask for this money over and over again, it's almost like they're guilting you into giving something that you didn't come within your heart to give to them. So I feel like it's like a thing between putting guilt on you or manipulating you out of the money that they want when they do that right there. I don't even know how we got on this topic. But y'all know how it flows. I'm excited. It it's discernment such such interesting thing, and common sense, the Lord giving and withholding this. Well, that's like the what they say, the Lord giveth and the government taketh away. Yeah, sometimes we just need to be quiet too. Yep, be quiet. And listen, when I the last situation that I was in, like that, I started praying to God, and I told God to bring shame to this situation right here. And you ever know you've been in there and like you feel so good, and like the Holy Spirit is moving inside of the church, and you just feel so filled with joy. And then they'll do one of these offerings where they begging for money like that, and then all that joy and stuff, and the pouring down of the Spirit and everything, and all of a sudden now you feel like your whole spirit been vexed, like they just done what you was feeling, because they doing all of this begging and stuff. Now it just done vexed everything that's up in the church. I can't stand that. Um, sometimes, yeah, sometimes we just need to. Hey, Nisi. Hey, Nisi the Budgetista. How are you tonight? I'm glad I caught you live. Um, auto non correct. Ugh. That's all you know. All them autocorrect. I be trying to figure out how to get it up off of my phone, and that thing be so irritating. I don't like for it to tell me how to talk. I like to talk the way that I talk. I know I don't be speaking correct sentences or language, but I want to talk the way that I want to talk, and I don't want no correction from auto spell telling me, "Oh, you need to put this here, or you need to do that right there." No, I need you to shut up and let me just talk the way that I want to, and stop putting them green lines up under my words telling me that I ain't do this right and I ain't do that right. I don't care about none of that. And guess what? I don't know how to turn it off on my phone. I don't know how to turn it off. I'm doing pretty good today, Nisi. I've been out in my garden. I had a conversation with Gamma's World on her second channel, called Get Your Big Ass Up. That's the name of her second channel. But we had garden talk over there with her. She had some questions about the garden. So I had a pretty good day today. And then after I got off there, that sun started beaming, and I can't the son and me can't we can't fellowship like I used to before. So I had to get up out of there. But I I'm feeling pretty good. Just got a little like leg weakness, or like my legs feel tired moving from place to place. But other than that, like I'm feeling good. And I got and if anybody missed my live from last night, my live from last night explains there's some pretty good things that's happening right now, with the with the chemo, and everything like that. Right there, some things have been switched up. So if y'all didn't catch the live from last night, y'all go back and go through that live and check out what was being said. I gave an update last night about everything. Thank you, Darcy. Um, I know that's right. Count the blessings. Yeah. So I've been saying, yeah. Go check out the live last night. It's a lot of things that happened yesterday that I didn't, but I don't want to go back over, because then I'm taking away from myself if I tell y'all what I told about last night. But y'all go over and check it out, and y'all always know that any questions or something that anybody have or whatever is like, I'm always willing to answer the question. And sometimes y'all ask me questions. it helped me to have questions and stuff to ask to the doctors and stuff. And so yesterday, when I went to the doctor on Monday to have the infusion, yesterday was yesterday was Monday, wasn't it? Yesterday was Monday, wasn't it? Child, you know my days and stuff run into each other. So it was yesterday was Monday. Yeah. Y'all go and y'all go and check it out. Today Tuesday, right? Okay, I will check it out. You know I keep you in my prayers. And I thank you. I thank you so much for that. And you know what I say, Nisi. You know, y'all people, I'm telling y'all for real. The ones that's praying good prayers over me, because I know, and I always say that because I know that there's some people have prayed for my downfall. I absolutely know that. And so I always have this thing that I say back to people. So I'm in expectancy that all the people that are praying for me, because I'm asking God to give it back to y'all tenfold what y'all seem fit to ask God for me. I expect to be, they got this song they say, I see a window over your head and it's pouring out blessings, blessings. So I'll be expecting to hear from y'all that blessings start to pour down and everything and just drop all over you and all of that good stuff like that right there. That's what I be and so I have this thing over here that I always say that people that be praying for me, I always say that whatever it is that you praying and asking God for me, I ask him to give it back to you tenfold in his son's Jesus name. I mean that with every fiber of my being. Every fiber of my being. And those that are praying good prayers over me, I know God gonna bless you for asking them for me, because I'm a mere stranger. You don't have to pray anything for me, but the fact that you did it, I know God gonna turn around and do something amazing for you. And I can't even tell y'all how much, like, my heart jumps with joy whenever somebody says a prayer over me. And for me to be able to say that back, I know I know he got to be pouring out some blessings on some people. That's for sure. Um, you seem to be a person that counts your blessings. That is crucial in happiness. Darcy, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I count my blessings. I absolutely do. And I'm so excited about people look for these big old huge blessings. I look for things that even a lesson in life when God trying to show me something. Even in my live from last night, you all will see. There's literally the little things. I'm not talking about, some people associate a blessing with something being put in your hand, maybe some money, maybe some materialistic things or something like that. No, if I'm having issues mentally, or just thoughts in my head that I'm trying to figure out why are they there, and then I get an answer for it, I those blessings right there are absolutely. I love them more than anything. The only thing with finances and stuff like that right there, I always got my thought on those kinds of things is like, Lord, give me what I need. Because I know I'm the kind of person, if I have an excess of what I have, I'm prone to give it away. I'm a giver. I love giving to people and I have a hard time receiving. So, and all things like that, when you do too much going one way or the other, balance needs to be brought to that. So, you know, little things like that. I like, hi, Narkish, how are you? Good to see you in the chat. Thank you very much for coming through. Praying for downfall is so evil. Absolutely. And Tasha speaks. That's why I say, whatever you asking for from me, may God give it back to you tenfold. And if that's what you praying for me, then that's what you gonna get back. Because I don't have any intentions of praying anything bad over anybody else. But if you sending it over here this way, I want to return to sender. Return it back to sender. So, and whatever what if it is the evil that they asking for from me, whatever you sent my way, it's gonna be multiplied by 10 when it come back your way. And that goes for anybody who putting it out there like that. You know what? And if it's not what anybody gives out, then you gonna get 10 times the love or whatever that you sent out, or the prayers that you prayed over somebody. I've never been an evil person where I just want something so bad to happen to somebody that's so evil. I done had people that did things to me before, um, be all up in my business and stuff at my house, and I did not dislike them, but never one day did I pray or want they downfall. But what I did know in my heart of heart is that because I wasn't messing with them, I knew that something was gonna come along. But guess what? When they started going through, see, they beat me and my family down and walked all over us and stuff. But when they stuff started to come to their zone, it took them out of the business of what was going on in my house. And where I thought that when what goes around comes around, you know how you kind of think like you go. The best way I can put it is say like you grew up with a lot of sisters and brothers, right? And your brother do something to you or your sister do something to you, and you go and tell on them, right? You go and tell on them, and you want them to get in trouble in some type of way. But what if the trouble end up being like a whooping or something like that, and then you think you were going to enjoy seeing them get in trouble, and actually what it was, what it caused you a heavy heart to see them get in trouble. That's actually it doesn't ever work out the way that you think it's gonna work out. You're gonna see them and they going through their stuff, and it's gonna give you a heavy heart to see them go through, because that's nothing that you would actually wish on them. And those are the kinds of things that was happening to me. Like people was all up in my business and what was going on at my house, and they didn't have a clue or didn't know what they was talking about or know nothing. And then it came a time in their life when trouble came in their house, and they kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. But while they dogged me out and my family and talked about us, I prayed for them. Not evil prayers, because the stuff that was happening to me was crushing. It was, I wouldn't wish none of the stuff that happened on them on anybody, not even a worse enemy. Nope. So praying for your plane ticket to Fort Worth. All right. Listen, RJ, that's so funny that you would even say that, because I was just saying, I just was telling, it's another YouTuber on here. She's Trucker's wife, but her name is also Tashanna. I was talking to her today and yesterday. I was telling her that I want to when I finish with like chemo, I've been in Florida my whole life. I only left Florida um probably like 3 or 4 times in my life, and this has been in the last within the last 5 years that I did. And so that's one of the things that I want to do, is start traveling, and I haven't traveled that far. And like, I don't want to go to like no extravagant places or whatever, but I want to see different parts of the world. So I've been to Virginia like 3 times, but my sister lives there. So I want to visit Texas, and I've been to Georgia. But you know, you can go to Georgia, just crossing the state line, Georgia and Florida, right next to each other. You know, Jacksonville. From Jacksonville, you can step right into you can be in Jacksonville and Florida at the same time. So but paying for your plane ticket to Fort Worth. I'm gonna need a week with you here to tell me how to start my gardening to pick a spot. All right, RJ, I'm gonna be waiting on that ticket now. I'm gonna be waiting. Yep, that's how it works. Um, yeah, I believe you. Amen. God is so good. His love is such a light in this world, and it's within his people, and it shows. Salt of the earth. Um, nature gets you. And I'm trying to get nature. I love nature. Like, I'm like not like a person that go out and take hikes. I've done hikes and stuff before. We went on a 5 mile hike once before. Man, I came back and had 5 million cramps in my thighs. I was drinking vinegar all night trying to get rid of them things, but loved it. Um, Hello, I am Indonesian. Well, welcome in, city from Indonesia. Exactly, me too. I'm a giver. Yep, a giver, and it's hard uh, for me. It's like I can compliment somebody else, I can give somebody else, but when somebody gives or compliments me, what I be saying make me feel all icky and stuff. And what movie that came off of? It made me feel icky inside. I think the one of the I think the Wayans or something. I don't remember who used to say it. But I'm laughing about it, but actually that's how I feel. When somebody gives something to me, it's like it's like my body doesn't know how to react to it. It just feels um it just feels abnormal to me. But I grew up my whole life without those things like that. So it's like for me to get it, it's like it's foreign. Gotta go. It was so nice being in this beautiful chat. Everyone have a blessed night. Thank you. I'm a whole vibe. Thank you for coming through, bringing your sunshine in. um, how was your childhood? Sorry, if Darcy, it's not actually personal. If you go back to the beginning under my videos and um I'll just say go to my videos and my lives when I first came on here. Go way back. Go back about a year or two in here. And there is so much information about me. I have been kidnapped and returned back home. I have been whooped for things that no child should have been whooped for. I have been everything you can think of. Anything you can bring up in your life, I can almost give you. That's why I just say, even right now, I'm going through cancer. Um, my life has been like that my whole life, from the age of 5 that I can remember. It's like you standing in this hell right here, and soon as you step out of that hell, you stepping into the next one. You probably got a good 2 weeks or a month before your next challenge is going to come. And I can say with each challenge that comes along, it has made me stronger and stronger. But there's also points in your life where you just, I'm so tired of going through. When this cancer came along, it was just like, God, you have to hate me. You have to hate me because it's like I can't catch a break for nothing in the world. And just, it's so much information on here, Darcy, in my on my channel. Just imagine, I've only been on YouTube now for 2 years, but I have been through so much stuff in just my own life. I remember somebody asking me, who you beefing with? Who you beefing with here on YouTube? I ain't got time to beef with nobody here on no YouTube. I don't got no enemies like that here on YouTube. I probably got one or two because I said a truth or something here or there or whatever. But I ain't even got time to stick around long enough to find out if you hate me or not, because I got enough stuff going on in my own life than to be beefing with anybody here on YouTube, because I look at it as you arguing with a computer or something, some of the sort, if you do that. But yeah, I got enough stuff going on in my life to not ever argue with anybody outside of where I am. So yeah, but it's a lot on here, Darcy. You have to go back and look. But I definitely don't mind um, no questions. I just always say, if you ask a question, if I ain't ready to answer, I know how to respectfully decline to answer the question. So But I love questions. I love conversations and stuff like that. So um, don't ever. The best person to ask a question about somebody to is that person who has actually been through that. I'm just saying, if I got into it with what all I've been through in my childhood, we gonna be on here until about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning for me to tell you. For me to tell you that just enough to know is growing up as a child. I felt like I felt like I don't even there's no easy way to say it, so I'm gonna just say I feel like I was hated um by my mom and a lot of my mom and her sisters and everything like that. But also at the same time I can say I felt like she hated me, but then there's a part of me that also knew like my mom loved me. She just didn't know how to, because a lot of the stuff that I went through in my life, she went through them too. If that makes sense. I'm just basically I'm trying to tell you that even though those things happened in my life with my mom, when my mom passed away, I still loved her like anybody else loved their mama. And and don't ever think that we could ever get down. People can ask me questions and stuff about it, but I'm still about it. When it come down to my mama, y'all know how that go. You protect your mama with your whole life, so it's just like, so it would never be a position like that where I would get on here. But my story is, the truth is the truth. There's no my truth, their truth, and all. It's just the truth of how things actually happen, and that's it. I don't dog her out or bash her or no nothing, but I went through some stuff as a kid. He said he's paying, so there we go. All right. Hey, Korean, how you doing, girl? I hope you still enjoying your spring break. You still on spring break? Or it ended on Monday? Um, yes, God is good all the time. He is good. See, Corinne, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't compliments is just like when you haven't grown up with it and everything like that. It make you have some kind of feeling on the inside. It just, yeah, it don't necessarily feel good, and I don't think that, I don't claim that to be like it's like a bad thing, but it's like some balance need to be brought to it. My sister bought me a brand new washer and dryer, mattress and box springs. Okay, then that's, girl. We was just talking about them blessings that be pouring down and everything. Maybe that's coming from that tenfold, everything, them prayers that you be sending up and stuff. Just come back and knock you upside the head. Hey, daughter.
Hi. Like
What what time is it?
11:20.
Oh, okay,
Saying good night.
okay. Love
Love
you.
you.
Um, your love for gardening is grounded in love for God's creation. Man, I love the gardens. Like when I don't, and I always say my garden is a direct connection to how things are going in my life. And to go out there and see all of that green when I walk out there and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh. And even my days when I have bad days, like going through chemo and all of that stuff right there, when it's something about going out to the garden that reminds me that, if how could it be that you've connected your life to this garden and everything, and it's so green and lush and pretty out here, and then are things really going bad in your life, or do it just look like it right now? So Fighter warrior, and you are still okay. Absolutely, I am. Absolutely, I am. Hey, Miss Parker, Trikel, how are you? We already talked earlier today, so I still hope you in the same spirit you was in earlier. On that topic tonight, I had such a good talk with my boys, and got to use my childhood pain as a lesson for them, and you could tell they were like, "Wow," and got it. A moment of transparency and love. Absolutely. I Anybody who been through stuff in their childhood, The first instinct your body wants to do is you do the same thing of what you were taught, you know. But it's something about it on the inside of you that knows to implement those things aren't right. And so then once you know that it's not right, it's like a fight on the inside of you. Every day you wake up with that fight to make sure that you don't implement those things to your kids that was implemented to you. And it's I that's what I call you breaking the generational curses that have been in your family before, and it's not the easiest thing to do. RJ, if you grew up with a family that they don't sit down and they don't have meetings, or they don't have regular conversations and stuff, it can be a very like icky feeling kind of thing for you to go and have conversations and stuff with your kids. That's how it felt for me, but it was something that I wanted to introduce into my family. Have conversations with them about things when stuff ain't going right. We can talk about it and all of that stuff. Those are all things. It wasn't comfortable for me to do it, but I forced myself to do it because I wanted to introduce that into my family. I didn't want us to be walking around and pretending like there's nothing going on. No, I definitely want them. So I so love that for you and your boys that they getting the understanding of how it's going. Hey, Gamma's World, we've been over here talking about you off and on. That's great. As a dad, it felt good. My pain and struggle and overcoming could actually be used as a lesson. Listen, that's something that I say all the time. Whether you had a good parent or a bad parent, there is something to be learned from either or. And you have to decide the way you're going to receive the lesson. Um, if you know what some of the things they did to you and it wasn't right, in your mind you do the opposite of what it was they did, and the good things that they taught you, you keep those things going, and you probably tweak those up because sometimes you know that they when those things, too much of a there is a such thing as too much of a good thing. Everything needs balance to it. So the things that didn't work and you absolutely hated it that it happened to you or whatever, you do the opposite. You don't do those things to your kids. You break that chain off of your lifeline. And I always say it, you have to think about it along the way of, because your grandkids are gonna come, and for you to have to sit and watch your grandkids go through the things that you brought along with it is crazy work. It's crazy. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to see none of those crazy things that I went through. So I fought very hard. Don't mean that I didn't do some of those things, because I absolutely did. But to keep the thought inside of my head, you didn't like it when it was done to you, so you don't continue to do something to somebody that you know you wouldn't like. If you don't want it to happen to you, then you don't do it to somebody. So you know, though, and those were the standards that I went by, breaking those things. So, I really love that you switching it up like that. As a dad, it feel good. My pain and struggles and overcoming could actually be used as a lesson for them instead of kept in and to myself. Absolutely. Um, hey, TSM. Hope all is well. Tashanna, Traquel, Gavin's World, and everything. TSM coming through speaking. Um, love, still love, even through hurt. Yep, even through it all. Yep, but no, Darcy, definitely have been through more things than I care to even dredge back up. But they there. They are part of my life. You know, yeah. Somehow you still loved her. Absolutely. Absolutely. When my mom passed away, my mom passed away. My I drove my mama to the hospital when she was passing away, and she held my hand all the way there, and she never said the words that I'm sorry, but there was a look in her eyes that I she knew at that point. It was just something about her eyes, her staring at me as I drove her to the hospital, and she was holding my arm. It was like her eyes spoke words to me, and at that moment I knew my mama loved me. She just didn't know how to love me. Um Growing up, and I can see in her eyes that the way her eyes look, it was her apology and everything, and that made me very, very sad, to lose her the same way anybody else would have. But yep, I still loved her. I think you as a person had a good heart from birth. I i believe I did too. I believe have. I've never been a person that, like, I look at somebody and I just wish the worst thing on me. I'm telling you, there's some people who done some things to me, and I never felt hate in my heart for any of those people. Now it's been one person that in my life that done something to me, and the thought has crossed my mind to set them up in a position so that I can take them out. But and you will have to know the stories. The stories are here. Um, yeah, it's some crazy things that happen in my life. It's just so funny that you would even ask that question tonight, Darcy. But I'm telling you, the stories are on here. um, my name changed. Ooh, RJ, all of that. My name changed. Was a runaway since 10 years old. Beaten up by my dad. Had to walk into church and smile. Ooh, smile and pretend like ain't nothing happened. Also had a stepmom. You know, stepdad. Police. Ooh, yeah. See, and I read stuff like that. It's just take a deep breath, because when a person has been through it, it's just something about their conversation, and when they hear you talking and stuff, it's like there's really no question. There's just an understanding, like, you know when a person is speaking real to you. And sometimes when you have those situations happen to you, it takes years and years and years sometimes to be able to say it to somebody. And for me, that was 45 years of my life that I was held in bondage, because I thought everything that happened to me, it was all my fault. And the people that did it to me was able to walk around and smile in my face and live their life. So much so, some of them even was bold enough to come and give me a hug at my mama's funeral. And I got a whooping behind what he done to me at 6 years old. And just one day those things start to crash, to just fall over the top of my head, and I couldn't take it no more. I couldn't hold it in no more. It didn't matter to me whether it was my fault, their fault, or whatever. But then I started to learn that it couldn't have been your fault. Especially I started looking at my children and the age they were, and then just thinking about the age this person was when they was, that these people were when they was doing these different things to me. It's impossible to look at a 5, 6, 7 year old, and then you looking at somebody who's 19 years old. What is a 5, 6, 7 year old gonna do with a 19-year old? And that pattern just continued to be a part of my life. And I've only so far talked up, I think, until I got to the part of where I'm like, probably around 10 or 11 at that point, and I'm kind of stuck there at that point, about sharing what else happened, because right around 12, 13 years old, something else happened, and I ended up being pregnant. And I just ain't got to the place of where I'm ready to talk about that right there. But it's been a lot. Yeah. RJ, I definitely understand. You've been through a lot. Married a conservative Christian girl, courted beautiful start. She came out as lesbian after several affairs. I know pain, ma'am. Woo woo. It's just like you walk out of one thing into the next thing, into the next thing, into the next thing. Those are the ones they call the chosen ones. You done went through some things, and it's just, and yet and still you haven't given up. You haven't given up on God or no none of that. But it's some kind of way. It's like you done went through all of these struggles, but some kind of way you still got these muscles to flex. Um, and you're this strong person even when you don't want to be strong. You are strong. I mean, it's so many levels. It's so many levels to knowing that kind of knowing and having that kind of pain um on the inside of you. And sometimes that pain can put you on either side of the railroad tracks. And y'all that been through it, you know what I'm talking about. You can be this one loving person, but let a person come and tap on your shoulder on a day that you having a bad day. And when you haven't poured out all of those things, that is the hurt and stuff that's on the inside of you, that hurt can be thrown on top of a person that don't have anything to do with the hurt and the pain that you've been through. They just happen to be there at the wrong time. And if you ain't able to like bridle that thing that you can get ready to pour out on, because some people think that they just because you're you're kind, you laugh, they take your kindness for weakness sometimes, because you smile all the time, you talk nice all the time and everything. And so they think that, oh, this is an opportunity that I can just run her over and I can make her do whatever it is that she want to do. And they don't have no idea that behind this smile, behind this lovely voice and this talk, I can also eat your ass up like a tiger. And there's just no better way for me to say it. It's on the inside of you, and it's been several times that I done had to fight and keep that thing inside of a box, because there are some things that happen to you can absolutely make you crash out. Absolutely make you crash out. And anybody who ever been through it know that rage that can come up on the inside of you, where you just need to be in a closet somewhere by yourself because you don't want nobody else to get grazed by the emotions and stuff that you going through at that time. It just be times you need to be by yourself. Don't bother me. I ain't mad at you or no none of that stuff. I just need to be by myself right now. I also know God more, and overcoming by God's grace and handiwork and redemption and mercy and accountability. Absolutely. The garden is life. Absolutely. um, chew the fat and chew the meat, spit out the fat and throw the bones and all of that away. Amen. Take from it what you need to take from it. Absolutely. RJ is a great mentor and soldier for Christ and helps others. He is a great life coach. I can already tell that, and I love everything about RJ being in the chat. Eat the meat and throw out the bones. Throw the bones away. Absolutely. There, but for the grace of God, go I. Absolutely. Hey, TT. I don't know what been going on with you, but let me tell you something. You came up in my thoughts today, and I say, God, wherever she is, help her. That's all I had for it right there, and I felt like that was one of the good ones. But I actually thought about you today, so it's good to see you. um, Eyes can speak. Absolutely, Gamma. I cannot tell you that night, when the night that she passed away, it was just me and her. Um, and her eyes told me everything. When my mama left here, I knew that she loved me. I feel like my mama had a life kind of like mine's own, because she was adopted. Um, but she also knew her real mom, and her real mom decided to keep three of her kids, but she gave her first two kids away. And they still knew her and watched her raise her other kids and everything. And, it's just some different things going on. So you grow up and you start to think about all of those things, and there's a different kind of grace that comes along as you do. But as a child, you don't understand that you feel hated. um Nobody loves you. Yeah, you feel all of those things, and then when you get older and stuff, you start to think, and you start to get discernment and all of those kinds of things, and some things change. As Menara sings, the rain on my window pane. uh, yes, it came down. I lost power for 3 hours. Ooh. um All right, Nisi, I gotta go. I will check out last night's video. Have a wonderful night. You have a great night too, Nisi. Thank you for always coming through. Um, yes, good to be here. Yeah, it's good to see you. But are still here heal. But we are still here healing. Absolutely, we can. Every day we can get up and put one foot in front of the other, and keep it moving. Keep on moving. Don't let it get you stuck, and stay in those positions. That's why there's great help for me. When I came on here, I never expected to have anything. I just said I'm not writing in no journals and stuff no more. YouTube is gonna be my diary, and then that just means that everybody gonna have access to read, because eventually we write these diaries and these journals or whatever, and one day you don't never know what day your day is going to be. They gonna be left behind anyway. Everybody gonna know what's in them one of these days anyway. Life is life. You know what, honey? You are certainly very filled with common sense and kindness, still combined with forgiveness. Now, how sweet. Thank you, Darcy. It wasn't your fault, and they thought they got away with. Oh yes, Tasha. They thought they got away with it, and I actually thought they did too. I actually thought they did. I never thought they never went to. None of them ever went to jail for it. None of them ever said sorry. None of them looked like they sorry. None of them looked like they care. But if you ever get in like a room or something with them, you can almost feel they feeling of like, I hope she don't remember what happened. Cause for one of them to give you a hug, you gotta know that they hoping that you forgot about what you did to them. But because of the way the hug comes, you can feel the energy off of that hug, that they know you ain't forget about what they did. They know you didn't. They just hoping for their sake that they forgot. But mhm. Um but nope, they suffer for what they did. Absolutely. Even if you never see it. If you never see it, there's a price to pay. There's a price to pay for that. Because when somebody does that to somebody, there's a long line of effects that happens with it. And it doesn't only destroy one kid. Because let me tell you something. If you're a kid that happened to you, do you know when it happens to you as a kid, you go to other kids and you play those same games that those people have taught you or done to you. You go and play them with other people's. You play them with other children. So I cannot tell you how much this thing has so many effects that it just trickles down the line. So it never just affects the person that it literally happens to. It affects a lot of lives. A lot of lives. And that's why, from going through what I went through and it happening to me, anytime I have children in my presence and I hear the word "let's play house," honey child, I'll becoming like a bowling ball ready to knock the pins down. Oh no, hell, we ain't playing no house over here. We not playing no house over here. And to me, it's not even a funny thing. It's like, if it's happening right in front of you and like the kids are playing or whatever, for me that's fine and dandy. But when they want to play house and then they like off in a room, it's I don't want to hear nothing about that, because I know back in my days, from the things that was happening inside of our house, playing house meant you were actually playing the parts of that, the things that mama and daddies do, and you shouldn't even know anything about those things at that time. Now if your kids have never had any of those things happen to them, then you may view Let's Play House a different way. But when you come from my world over here, that means a whole, because at that point you don't know what happened in these other kids life or whatever, and what actually does playing house, what does it consist of? See, playing house for you, hearing your kids say they playing house may mean something different from you, but what I have inside of my head is what happened in my life, so it may not mean the same for both of us. It's like sometimes people people don't take kind to people talking about their parents and stuff like that. Well, it when you don't, and me and Gamma had this conversation before. You may have a great mother, so for you it's very hard for you to hear somebody say something about your mama. But what you have to remember is when they're talking, they're not talking about the mama that you had, they talking about the mama that they had, or the dad that they had. Those ones that had them good ones, God bless you for having a good one. But for those ones that didn't have such a great one, it's a different thing. And it's hard for people that have had a great parent to hear one talk about they parent and the bad things that's happened. While I'm okay hanging in there, I feel so. I've been down. I'm keeping you in my. I feel so. I've been. You fail. Lord have mercy. Okay, then maybe that's why you came up in my thoughts and prayers today. Yes, yesterday that was so. Wow. Okay then. While you thinking of me, you're my bed. In my head, we are similar. We have similar stories, and I just love your honesty. I know I'm not alone. Absolutely, none of us over here. We are not. We are not. You were not alone. Much love to y'all. Thank y'all, and Tashanna. Y'all can come over to my mansion in heaven any old time. All righty then. Invite us over. Yes, in your mansion. Once 1,000 years is great. All righty then. Eternity mindset. Come on, RJ. Yes, and it's life, and I want to divorce my husband, but I don't want to divorce his bank account or the house. He can have the grown kids. I've done my best. Okay, TT. Well, that's something we can put on. We can put on the prayer. Cause one thing that I do know, we've been through similar things, especially in that situation right there. Hold on one. Okay, sorry about that. Um, we've been through a lot of similar things. When it come down to that right there, and I know nobody don't get married and be married for 30 years and everything, and then what you're doing is, I know you hoping that things will change, and they don't actually change in the way and when you actually want them to, and you feel like you don't work so hard towards it. But the same way like I stay in the fight is like I wouldn't tell you anything to do because you know on any given day I can feel different from what I feel on one day is I don't want the divorce. I feel like I've tried everything and it is just like it is what it is, it's whatever. But in all thinking, it's like if you know what, I ain't gonna tell you nothing. I'm gonna just keep you in my prayers, knowing that what I've gone through and what I've been going through and everything, and it's just um I'm just gonna say that we gonna keep you in the prayers, and whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. But you know, I I'm not the one that I would want you to have a divorce. I just feel like that's a lot of time put in. But we gonna let God do His thing, and so you know things can change real swift because you know He could be going through some things in the next moment that can change your mind. So just like I said, we gonna give it to God and we gonna let Him handle that. All right. You freak me out by how you see and how you can feel a person. Darcy, that's one of the things that I've said since I've been on here. It's like I have a lot of people call it empath or whatever. It's like I can feel I've been in rooms sitting next to people and I can feel what they going through and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just go about my day every day, and it's just like once I connect or I talk to a person on, you know, several times or whatever, it's just like I can feel them and not even know them. I've never seen TT's face before or no nothing. We just been conversating in this chat and everything and check in and out with each other and stuff like that. And it just for whatever reason it's like I can remember the people that come into my chat um and whatever, and it's just like there's a divine connection, there's a divine connection. It's just like I haven't seen her in a couple of days, so it's just like she just came up in my spirit, and I don't know what's going on with her. I have no clue or no nothing, but being that she came there, I know God didn't put her on my mind for nothing. So whatever it is that came to my heart to want to pray for her about, that's what I sent up, and you know, the rest of it is between her and God. But just for her to know that she was thought of during the time that she was going through something is can be amazing. All of this stuff. Sometimes it feels good to be thought of um, by someone, even when you thought that nobody was thinking about you when you're going through those things. If that makes sense, what I just said. Yes, they will have to pay. It's called karma. I've accepted mine. I hope he can accept these divorce papers. Well, we'll see what happens. That's a lot to process. Yep. Hey, Ursula. Thank you for coming in. And I hope I never, yep. And I never wanted kids. You didn't? Um, my dad had my mom put in a mental institution when I was 6. Wow. Yeah, I played house and other kids introduced me to it, but I'm sure someone taught them. So Tasha speaks. You see what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to be a person that growed up and you was touched by no adults or whatever, but other kids that have been touched by adults and touched in the improper way. And all the time, kids learn that it don't necessarily mean that they have been touched by a person. That's sometimes kids. You know, sometimes kids can walk in on their parents, you know, see things that they ain't supposed to see sometimes. So it doesn't necessarily happen with that. But when you if the kids see that stuff, then they become experimental with those kinds of things. And sometimes it don't nothing don't have to happen to those kids. But they'll introduce your kids to something that wasn't already there. And it's just something a little extra that you don't need to be added to you. So to say that someone came over and they taught you that by playing that game. It's just I'm just super cautious about hearing that, and it's like and you don't get up and start screaming at the kid or no nothing, but it's like how about we just play such and such and such? How about we play shoots and ladders or something like that? Anything but house. That's all I'm talking about. I thought he was a great dad when I realized why he did. When I realized why he did it, I know how. I now have a disdain for him. He is older, but he is older, but will. Um, yeah, I got an older one too, and I thought he was I know there's some a lot of things that he did very good for our family, but it's like you can't. Now the hard thing is about him is you can't tell him that he ever wrong about anything, and that's the part that I'm good. If I'm wrong about something, I can take the accountability from it. I can eat from it, and I can say that I'm sorry or whatever. But on the other hand, I have a husband that you can't tell him that he does anything wrong, even though he can do that wrong thing right in front of your face, and he does not accept that you telling him that this is wrong the way that you're doing it, and so yeah, and that's the part right there. I refuse to deal with it. I could be alone by myself for the rest of my life, and never deal with it. It's unacceptable to me. And I told y'all, my husband has been the. I've been through all of these other people and thrown these other people off of my ship. My husband was the hardest one. And right now, me and him have been separated. I don't even remember the day. I have to go back in, and it's, has it been a year yet? Me and him been separated now for about if it ain't been a year, it's been about 8 months, 8 months or more. So um and I'm fine right where I am. Um, you know, never admit to what he did to her. She has passed away. I'm not over it. Um, I know I need to let it go. Well, TT, um, woo, yeah, that's a lot. What I would say to you, because I know that's not an easy thing to get over it. Just keep on a day to day basis. Just when it comes up inside of you and you think about it, just keep asking God, God, how do I get past this? Because I done been in some situations that I ain't been able to let go. And every time that it come up, I have to go to him and be like, Lord, you going to have to help me with this one right here, because I don't see it. I don't know how I'm going to get away from it. Didn't want kids until I couldn't have kids. Uterus was garbage. Just another reason to be angry at past childhood trauma, but had to give it to God. Amen to that. But let me tell you something, Phoenix, where he may not give you kids that come through your uterus, there's different ways that kids can come to you, and the people, the more you have conversations, the real people you meet in life can actually be the, because I told y'all I had 14 kids, but I did not give birth to 14 kids. All my life was saying I'm gonna have 2 kids, a girl and a boy, and God multiplied that by 7. So your kids don't necessarily have to come through your womb for them to be your kids. It can be kids that God gave you. And as long as you have breath in your body, he ain't through with you yet. You don't never know when somebody might show up in your life. I ain't saying nothing, but I'm saying. um, yes, it's coming up on 24 years, and he's not going to his kids are grown and disrespectful. Ours are rude too. I'm over it. Yeah, you sound like you about ready to go to one of the places where I'm at. You already done moved around one time, and Move around, keep on moving around, and let it be all. If it ain't nothing that's changed, it's unacceptable. Yeah, don't make no excuses for that. I tried to come back in it and be this one way or whatever, and it's like, no, I can't continue to accept this same garbage that I've been accepting before. I have to do something different. So, teacher, just keep it on, keep the prayer, keep on the prayer line. That's all. Keep your communication over with God, and whatever decisions that you make sure God is ordering your footsteps as you walk along in it. Give God a challenge. Whenever you going to do those paperwork, or you feel like you want to go and fill out for that, make sure make sure you make sure, okay, God, give him a challenge. If it's not meant for me to do this, then God, do something to interrupt my pattern of where I'm going. And if nothing interrupts you, then you moving in the right direction. Sometimes, until you do some of those things, they don't understand that she's really serious if you don't take those big steps. So, I don't know what God is doing in your life in those ways, but you know, just keep God first and whatever it is. Thank you. I've served him papers twice. He refuses to sign. Yep. Yep. I'm amazed how you knew something was going on with me. Yeah, I didn't. I'm telling you, literally, just um, you just fell in my spirit yesterday. I thought about you, and that was it. I don't know anything else, but I'm just telling you, whatever steps you make, TT, just make sure you got God in front of whatever the decision. And if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out, just know that He has a plan. And maybe it's like there was something there that you were starting to do, and then you accepted some things back, which then it was like taking 3 steps forward, but you took 2 steps back. And it may be a situation where you need to stay on. Doesn't necessarily mean that your husband is not for you, but he hasn't gotten the lesson of what you know needs to be. It's like, I'm never for and I would never tell anybody to leave their husband, nor do I want somebody to tell me to leave my husband, because anytime you get somebody that's telling you to leave your husband or your wife or whatever, um, thank you very much for that. Whenever somebody is telling you to leave your husband, it's woe unto them, because who is that person to be able to tell you about a vow that you made between you, your husband, or your wife, and the connection was that you brought God into it? Now, you gonna tell somebody to disconnect or cut off a vow that you made between you and God? The person that you need to be talking about that to is God, because that's where the vow came from. Don't let nobody from the outside or on the side or whatever side they on, don't let them come in with that um right there, because you made a vow to God in that, for better or worse, sickness and health. And I ain't saying nothing bad anyways, because TT, you already know I'm walking through, have walked through the things that you're walking through, and divorce has definitely came up in my mind before, but and I know that's not what I wanted to happen for, because you're not with somebody for all of those years only for it to all go down the drain. So I'm just going to say to you again, whatever steps you taking, I'm happy for you or whatever, as long as you keeping God first before every step that you take in whatever this journey that you are about to go on. And I pray that if it's not His will that you all get divorced, then I'm going to ask God to give you whatever answer it is that you need to be able to move in the right way that you need to, so that things get better in your life. And as I pray for yours, then I know God will be working on my marriage too at the same time. So how about it?